As Winston Churchill once said, the future is not something we enter, the future is something that we create. Let's use this session to craft a future for Viksit Bharat that is prosperous, secure, and epitome of hope. By 2047, we have to build a nation that will be connected to the pride of the past and which will have all the golden chapters of modernity. On behalf of IMDR Institute, it is my honor to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Swain Hoos, Director J. Vegna, India Private Limited. Shri Deepak Karandikar, President MCCIA, CS Shri Mahesh Athavale, Partner at Kanjan Company, Dr. Vinaya Acharya, Member Council and Life Member DES. The presence of all the dignitaries today truly adds to the significance of this gathering of International Conference on Viksit Bharat 2047. Once again, we welcome all the dignitaries.
Moving on, I take this opportunity to introduce our chief guest for the day, who has joined us online, Dr. Bhimaraya Metri. Dr. Bhimaraya Metri, Director of IIM Nagpur, is a distinguished academician, researcher, with, and administrator with vast experience. He held leadership roles in institutions like IIM Tiruchirappalli, MDI Gurgaon, and BITS Pilani. Specializing in project management and infrastructure, he's contributed significantly to education and innovation. Sir serves on prestigious boards like AICTE and is involved in shaping academic policies. He received numerous awards for his leadership in management education, including the IMA Keval Noharia Award. Sir's contributions extend globally, being the first Indian Vice President of the Decision Sciences Institute's Asia Pacific Division. With great enthusiasm and respect, I invite Dr. Bhimaraya Metri to share his valuable insights with us. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome with a big round of applause. Over to you, sir.
Over to you, sir. Very good afternoon. All the dignitaries, invited guests, the participants of international conference, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to be a part of the conference of IMDR on Viksit Bharat 2047, Pioneering Transformation and Shaping Global Business Landscape. So as the title suggests, Viksit Bharat 2047, so Viksit Bharat, our developed economy, aims towards per capita income of 18,000 US dollars. It aims towards 30 Indian population from 1.42 to it will become 1.65 billion. So this is what projected at 2047 means 23 years down the line. Now, if you want to achieve those goals by 2047, we should understand the history, we should understand where are we present, and how we are going to prepare the roadmap to reach 2047 those goals. So to begin with, let me start with the history. You all know that history reveals very, very important aspect, and it also set the roadmap for the future. If you look at the history of India, I'm not going far away, but if you look at the history of India, 1977, GDP of India was higher than GDP of China. India's GDP was much bigger than GDP of China in 1977. Now, 1978 onwards, China took over India, and then there is no looking back. Now, China is world's #2 economy and far, far ahead of India, and it is next to US. Now, if you look at how China took a leapfrog from 78 onwards, if you see, China was the one country in those days before liberalization in India, that is before 1990. China made a strategy which acted as a magnet to attract the large FDI, foreign direct investment to China. And that is how 1980 Shanghai was smaller than Mumbai. Shanghai was a financial, still today, financial capital of China, and Mumbai is a financial capital of India. But Shanghai, from financial capital of China, it became financial capital of the globe. 1980 onwards, because they took a drastic steps to improvise the economy of China, and the important milestone they achieved because of the FDI, foreign direct investment. 1993 to 2005, those 10 years, if you see the infrastructure growth of China, and some estimates says 50% of the cement produced in the world and 35% of the steel produced in the world were used to build the China's infrastructure. China became a super economy because infrastructure is the backbone for any country's economy. And probably, during 2000, even 2005 or even 2010, for loading and unloading at a port, in India, it used to take 3 days, but China, 8 hours are good enough. That is a leapfrog China too, because of the growth of infrastructure and superior infrastructure, which acted as a catalyst to build the Chinese economy. Another interesting aspect for the growth of China, again, I'll draw the, again, those points from the history. If you look at the history of Japan, 1965, Japan was the youngest nation in the world. After 15 years, means 1980 to 1995, 15 years, Japan ruled the entire world as a super economy because it was the youngest nation in 65. After 15 years, it became super economy. Same goes to, again, if you look at the Singapore, 80 to 85, Singapore was the youngest nation, and 95 to 2000, Singapore became a super economy. 2000, China was the youngest nation in the world, and 2000, we used to say Chinese product means use and throw. But today, or even before COVID, or after 2010 onwards, after 10, 15 years of, youngest nation, China emerged as a global leader, and not only global leader, without China, nobody can survive. That kind of equation they built because of China. Shanghai became manufacturing hub of the globe. You name a companies, all the top companies in the world, they were having their headquarters in Shanghai till 2000. So this is how China became a super economy after youngest nation. Now, according to a prediction of some of the global authentic agencies, 2930 India is going to take a global leadership from China, because today India is the youngest nation in the world as far as the youth population is concerned. This demographic dividend is something to do how from Japan to Singapore to China to India, the leadership, global leadership is coming to India. That is the youngest nation, and today 1.42 billion population is again the competitive advantage for India. Maybe when I was a child at that time, India and China are thickly populated countries were considered as a poor nations, and that is no more true today because of the population poor. That was the definition. Now it has changed. It has taken a U-turn. So that is how, if you look at India now today, countries on the movement. Today, entire world is looking towards India. Today, entire world is looking towards China minus world. And therefore, to make China as a minus, everybody is looking towards India with lot of hope. The Japan, the Australia, many countries are looking towards India to take a global leadership. Now, if you look at all these development, one is the youngest nation, demographic dividend, I give an example of many countries. Second aspect, if you see today, any nation in the world, they all accepted the global leadership because of the R&D and manufacturing hub. China, Shanghai became manufacturing hub. Singapore became global hub for connectivity and all the products. So similarly, Japan became. So now India, if you see the recent development in India, our Honorable Railway Minister Ashwini, he has already 2022 budget 10,000 billion US dollar amount has been pumped for manufacturing of semiconductors and iPhones. Earlier people iPhone means they used to look towards China production of iPhone. Today and semiconductor means every entire world look towards Taiwan, but from Taiwan to India and China to India, these two products are going to be produced. And not only our honorable minister, invested this much money, but they also tied up with 85 higher education institutions to prepare the manpower to get into that manufacturing process. So this is just the beginning of India journey towards manufacturing. And you might have heard about last 20, 25 years, GDP of manufacturing used to be 14, 15. A Krishnamurthy committee who was the pioneer for setting up of Maruti Suzuki, setting up of Steel Authority of India, and setting up of BHEL Trichy, such a great person, Krishnamurthy, who set up three conglomerate, and under his leadership committee was appointed and many suggestions were made, but it could not materialize, taking our GDP from 14, 15 to 25. But the real sense, last 2 years, probably we are marching in the manufacturing destination. And as a part of that, you might have heard about Ministry of Commerce and Industry 2018, October 2018, they came out with Vision for India 5 trillion economy. When it was announced by the task force, appointed by the Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, when it was announced, I think a lot of discussions, newspaper articles came on that can we achieve really a 5 trillion economy? That question mark was asked, and many people thought it is just a talk, it is difficult, it is impossible to achieve. So it was, everybody thought it is not going to be possible, it is impossible what we are talking. Are you going to realize that kind of articles also you can go through, you find in 2018. But afterwards, whatever the roadmap prepared by the government of India, and in that roadmap task force, they came out with three important components how we are going to achieve 5 trillion economy by 25. And one component was the manufacturing alone will give 1 trillion economy. The agriculture and allied services will give another 1 trillion economy. And service sector, a champion service sector will give 3 trillion economy. This is how 5 trillion economy was brought out by the task force in 2018. Now again, I will take you back to the, again, GDP of India, again take you to the history. If you look at the history of India, since independence, 1947 to 2007, if you see last 60 years, India took 60 years after independence to realize 1 trillion economy. Means 1947 to 2007, we reached 1 trillion economy in 60 years, first 60 years. Then afterwards, 2007 to 14, if you look at that, trillion, just 2014 we achieved. Third trillion economy came less than 6 years. 2015 to 2021, we achieved the 3+ trillion economy in 2021. Now, from 2021 to, if you Google out the Forbes report, February 2024, we are already in 4.112 trillion economy we are reached. Now, today we are 4.11 112, 2024 we are talking about. Nobody can stop India to reach 25, 26, 5 trillion economy. IMF, International Monetary Fund, it has already, predicted 27, 28, India is going to hit the target of 5 trillion economy, and India is going to prove IMF wrong. Much before that, we are going to hit the target of 5 trillion economy, which you thought 2018 is going to not going to achieve. That was the thinking, but really we can see today's figure, and next year definitely nobody can stop India to reach 5 trillion economy. Now, December 11, our Honorable Prime Minister came out with Viksit Bharat, Bharat at 2047, Bharat at Amrit Kal. That concept came and it was launched, and every Raj Bhavan and all higher education institutions participated in the launch ceremony. And at that time, Prime Minister announced 2047 India should be a developed nation. Developed nation means per capita income has to be above 18,000 US dollars. Developed nation means we are going to hit the target of 30 trillion economy. Now, 5 we are thinking impossible in 18, but 47 I am sure many of us may think impossible, but nobody can stop us to reach 30 trillion in very few years. Now, how can we say this? If you look at the figures, I gave 47 to 2007 to 14 to 21 to 24. And again, there are predictions that every now, if you see 24 to every 2 or 3 year, not more than 3 year, India is going to touch 1 trillion economy for coming 15 year or so. Every coming 15 year, every 2 year or 3 year, we are going to cross more than 1 trillion. So this itself speaks a lot about who can stop us to become in 2047 30 trillion economy. So this is the prediction, this is the speed. And if you see last 10 years, India is the only country in the world, we on an average, our GDP rate was more than 7%. No country in the world, but India is the only one. If you take the average last 10 year, 20 year, even if you take 20 year, it is more than 7% of GDP. Otherwise, if you see US minus, UK minus, and all the developed, so-called developed nation, they were in negative. But India was never negative, even though it has gone down, it has gone up, but average is always higher than anybody else in the world. So this speaks a lot about what India is marching, what roadmap it has prepared, we are going to achieve. Now, how we are going to achieve, that's the most important thing. How we are going to achieve, what are in the plate, so that we can move in that direction. And some of the things, if you look at the number one, Skill India program, a Skill India program, NSDC, and also you might have seen many state governments have come out with the skill universities, and the Ministry of Skill and Entrepreneurship Development started new initiatives, and huge money has been pumped to basically fuel into this particular area, that is Skill India program, so that we can close the skill gap, so that people can get into all those various sectors. That is number one. Second, if you talk about the manufacturing, I already told, iPhone, semiconductor, many areas manufacturing government is also entering. And now the one important aspect, till today, India has been the largest consumer of the technology in the world, being a 1.42 billion population. Now here onwards, India can't afford to be only a largest consumer of the technology. India has to be the largest producer of the technology. And for largest producer of the technology, Government of India has come out with Anusandhan. Anusandhan means basically National Research Foundation. February 2024 budget, Government of India already approved. Anusandhan National Research Foundation, and it is handed over to Department of Science and Technology. In India, we have currently 12 100 universities and 50,000 colleges, and all can avail a budget allocated 2 year back, 2022 budget. Our Honorable Finance Minister allocated 50,000 crore rupees budget for National Research Foundation. Now, Indian higher educations are going to get a multidisciplinary research funding from National Research Foundation, and that is the target is India should be a producer of the technology. India should be the disruptor instead of getting disrupted. And this is how a government is planning how India should get into R&D, because without R&D we cannot be the leader of the globe. And that is where Government of India is planning. And I am sure today, if you look at the technology, we are the highest consumer of the technology. And now how to produce the technology so that rest of the world can use. And that is where the Government of India has came out with Make in India program. And Make in India program, initially the success rate was not that good. Currently, the Make in India program has come in its new avatar. And in its new avatar, definitely, not only it is producing for India, but from India to the world, that Make in India program is going to be there. And therefore, if you look at the higher education space, National Education Policy 2020, released on 27th July 2020 by Honorable Prime Minister. Last 3 years, lot of transformation is started happening in the higher education space, so that higher education space is going to move to the next orbit. There is a huge transformation in higher education. Lot of autonomy is going to be given to the institutions. Autonomy means innovation. Innovation means we are going to come out with a new product. And there are not going to be any affiliated colleges in coming 15 years or so. They are all going to be autonomous college or degree granting college or state university, central university, deemed university, or distinct university kind of structure is coming, and everybody is going to get autonomy. Autonomy means what you think, you can experiment and you can come out, and that is where National Research Foundation is going to help. ICSSR is going to help. RUSA scheme of the university grant is going to help education institutions. I being a part of UGC, AICT, NP, and NAC, I can see that these are all the activities as a part of Make in India. Education institutions are ready to gear up along with the transformation. So therefore, Make in India program is one approach to march in that direction apart from Digital India. Third most important aspect Government of India is, and focusing particularly Honorable Prime Minister is focusing on rural economy. You see, this was the word never talked earlier. Today, rural economy, big way boost is being given. First visionary Prime Minister of the country to think about rural India was Honorable then Prime Minister Vajpayee. Vajpayee was the first Prime Minister to think about Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So PMGSY, I was working in BITS Pilani. I was part of the policy of PMGSY. 7 institutions are involved: IIT Bombay, IIT Roorkee, many institutions. BITS Pilani was one of them. I was representing as a principal technical agency to Ministry of Rural Development to take care of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, 3 states. IIT Bombay used to take care of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Goa. So that project was how to provide one Pakka road to smallest of the small village based on the 3 criteria: a school for children, hospital for women and children, and agriculture market for the farmer. That was the first time it came out, and probably you know that some of the highways may not be as good as PMGSY road. When I was a child, we used to, while from primary, when I used to go to neighboring high school, there was no road because only one Kachcha road where bus goes, and other villages there was no connectivity. By walking, we can make a road. That was the situation. But 1999, 2000, Vajpayee brought the concept of PMGSY along with the quadrangle, all the big cities, metros to be connected. So today infrastructure has been extremely good in India. Probably, our Minister of, highways and transportation has really, commendable connecting smallest of the small village to biggest of the big cities. A great connectivity, and India's backbone, like China did. Now India has already done in infrastructure. We have pumped lakhs of crores of rupees for building the country's infrastructure, and rural to urban. So that is going to boost the economy for rural economy. And as a part of that, for this roads means basically education and health and also agriculture product market for the farmers, it is going to boost. Apart from that, already Niti Ayog has set up the help desk in every state. Government of Maharashtra and Nagpur is the help desk. It is an arm of Niti Ayog. We are supporting the area of agriculture, education, and healthcare for rural economy upliftment for government of Maharashtra. Like that, different states, different institutions are engaged so that how to uplift the rural economy. Another important aspect for uplifting rural economy is MSME sector. And today in India, MSME strength is 65 million MSMEs are in the country. 6.5 crore MSMEs are in the country. Now, MSMEs, if you want to make an improvement in MSMEs, they cannot afford to go to McKinsey, KPMG, PwC because they charge huge money, tons of money they can't afford to pay. Now, as a part of that, so today, for example, Nagpur is tying up with SIDBI, and we are setting up a center, and they are posing the problem to us, and our students, best of the best talent coming from the country, they solve the problem with nominal fees, so that the 65 million people IIT Kanpur is also doing some or other way. They are working. Many education institutions are supporting MSMEs. I am sure in coming years, MSMEs as well as Maharashtra Industry Development Corporations in Maharashtra and other states, they are all going to raise the bar. And if you see this, they are big in number, small in size MSMEs. And education institutions give a boost to them. I'm sure 1 trillion economy easily come from the MSME alone as a part of Viksit Bharat to reach the 30 trillion. So this is how the activities are going on the rural economy. When it comes to healthcare, healthy body, healthy mind is extremely important. And Government of India has come out with the scheme for the rural youth as well as for the rural age-old people. The different kind of schemes have come as a part of that. So that to maintain the health and also to maintain the urban areas, health sector challenges there in the urban area. And as a part of that, Government of India has come out with the smart cities. Smart cities means it is not only how to do the ganton ka kaam minuton mein kaise hona chahiye, and how to keep the people healthy and how to take the challenge of healthcare. A smart cities have come. But at the same time, I must tell you that today in India, according to McKinsey report, there is a migration from rural to urban. That migration is 2.5 crore every year migrate from small villages to the urban area. So therefore, there is a need for a smart agriculture and smart village. If you get into, because agriculture is the only one profession culture name is involved. Otherwise, all other professions probably you don't find a culture word. So agriculture is the one important aspect. The Government of India is now focusing agri-tech. If you see the last year budget, our Honorable Finance Ministry has kept a startup scheme for agri-tech. Government of Maharashtra has come out with the Magnet project, Maharashtra Agri Business Network Society, and Asian Development Bank is funding 1,100 crore for that. IIM Nagpur is a center of excellence along with Rauri Vidyapeeth and Panjaro Krishi Vidyapeeth and KVK of Baramati. We four are working for how to raise the bar for farmers. So these are all part of the how to take the rural economy to the next level. Farmer producer organizations. Recently, we have made agreement with Care of USA and IIM Nagpur. We are setting up a center here, and through that, women-led farmer producer organizations, we are working on that. So a lot of work is going on to take India to the next level. That next level is nothing but Viksit Bharat during Amrit Kal. So this it comes to MSME. When you talk about digital India, now when you talk about digital India in the entire world, India has taken a lead when it comes to digitalization at government space. ONDC, it was never heard. Probably some of you might have heard. You should Google, find out the details about it. ONDC, Ministry of Industry and Commerce and Quality Council of India, they come out with the Section 8 company and they opened the ONDC, and ONDC is now giving a big challenge to Flipkart and Amazon. They used to do their monopoly. Now it is going to come to an end. Government of India highly secure, because today all businesses are cyber attack and all, keeping that in mostly cyber security is there, data stability is there, and at the same time, much cheaper rate you can send your product to one place to other place for farmers, for anybody, any product. So instead of using Amazon and Flipkart, now Government of India came out with its own, and that is available in nominal rate, and that is going game changer and hitting the private companies like Amazon and Flipkart. Similarly, Aadhaar card, it is the biggest, a kind of things to identity as well as to many things, to authenticity and all. Aadhaar card, we are the biggest one. When it comes to, UPI, again UPI, now Singapore and other neighboring countries have started using UPI. It is the biggest game changer in the entire world. Now other countries are basically looking towards India when it comes to digitalization at government level. So what I was talking about, we are biggest consumer, even though we are going to now a producer of the technology. But this technology, we are the first one to experiment. We did it. Second level, each one of us, our household level, we are the biggest consumer of digitalization. Sitting in a house, we place the order for the product, whatever the product you want. Instead of visiting the malls and super bazaar, sitting in a home, we place the order through mobile, you get the product. Similarly, sitting in a home, we place the order for the food or pizza and all, we get it. So in the household level, highest digitalization, and at the government level, highest digitalization. But in between, if you talk about the companies, they are yet to start digital transformation. All the MSMEs and bigger companies yet not completed 100% digital transformation. And digitalization is extremely important as a part of Viksit Bharat, because digitalization, it is going to useful for the sustainability. Digitalization, it is also reducing the optimization you can achieve. Digitalization, particularly in the area of fossil fuel companies, probably you can predict well what will be the productivity of the coal, productivity of the oil. All those things you can predict well using the digital latest technologies. 3D printing has come. Companies like L&T, they are printing the houses in Bangalore. 2-bedroom kitchen, 8 hours are good enough to print the house. 3D printing, instead of 14,000 components to make one car, now 200 components are good enough to print a car. So this is the kind of world we are going to live in, and India is making a mark in all those areas. So therefore, this optimization basically take India to the next orbit. Next orbit is nothing but Viksit Bharat. And when it comes to all these development, Government of India is also working on some of the policies. And number one policy is ease of doing business. Government is doing ease of doing business. Lot of unwanted, whatever the regulations, laws already they already put it in right place. Similarly, Government of India has also made lot of regulatory changes for innovation. Innovation index India is going up. Similarly, Startup India scheme, it is one of the biggest scheme, and it is the third biggest in the world. Startup India, already 1 lakh and so many thousands of startup according to the government records. But I must say that these figures are very small in number, because these figures are only a educated startup. People in rural India, in today's figure, 58.5% of the population lives in village. And when I was a student, 72% of people used to live in village. Now it has come down because of the migration. Now 58.5% live in village, and they start many business, they start many new way of doing agriculture, they start some small kind of initiatives. Those are not counted in 1 lakh, so many thousands of startups. If you count that, probably it is going to be big way. Even GDP for women alone in agriculture area coming 18%, that is not counted. So those areas, if you count, probably it is going to go up. And apart from this, there are 113 unicorns. So in startup space, India is going to make a mark, because Government of India, Niti Aayog came out with Atal Innovation Centers, and our Honorable Prime Minister plan was 101 Atal Innovation Center, and last year Niti Aayog has completed 101 Atal Innovation Center, and IIM Nagpur is lucky to get in that 101, and that is the highest funding coming from Niti Aayog is 10 crore rupees. And as a part of that, we received, some of the Atal Innovation Centers like IIM Nagpur received Startup India Seed Fund 5 crore rupees, and we have incubated 13 people, and the second installment is going to come. Similarly, entrepreneurs in residence of DST and fellows of entrepreneurship. A lot of schemes are coming and many people are getting benefit out of that. So as a part of that, many young and new entrepreneurs are taking risk and entering into the space of entrepreneur, and they are creating a lot of jobs and employment opportunities for people in urban as well as rural area. We also set up our small center in Varda, and next month we are going to inaugurate our as a part of Patel Innovation Center, Varda district, and we are also going to Chandrapur and all. So many such initiatives in different part of the country, higher education institutions are doing, and many also R&D institutions are playing a role. So this is how startup space is also going to give a boost for this Viksit Bharat. And when it comes to the FDI, now, if you look at the FDI, Maharashtra is number one in FDI. Out of 100% FDI coming to India, 30%, the number one is the Maharashtra. 28 or 29%, number two is Karnataka. 16% Gujarat. And if you look at the other states, probably Bihar is the lowest 1.37 and UP maybe 0.69 and all. But these three states, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Karnataka, they have highest pumping of FDI and lot of opportunities. And another important aspect for Viksit Bharat is the power, the energy. Now, when you look at the power, where there is more power, those are the powerful states in India. Punjab is powerful because 1600 per capita consumption. Gujarat is more powerful because 1400 per capita consumption. Maharashtra is more powerful, 1200 per capita consumption. If you look at the sum of the states, earlier used to call as a Bhimaru states, it is 250 per capita per capita consumption. So you can see the disparity, but country's average is about close to 1100 or so per capita consumption. So power is extremely important, and I am sure now as a part of that, Government of India came out with Solar Corporation of India. So our Honorable Prime Minister brought the Solar Corporation of India. Now it is making a mark. And solar, if you go by solar from traditional energy, for example, when I was working as a director of IIM Trichy, Rural Electrification Corporation, CSR money, I got 14.5 crores and I built a solar campus. And instead of 25 lakhs of electricity bill per month, it came down to 3 lakhs 75,000. That was the first IIM to get, solar campus. Now IIM Nagpur is going to be the second IIM to get the solar campus. We got the, Maha Transco has funded 9 crore rupees, and now rates have come down. In 9 crore, we are going to be 2 megawatt, and our electricity is going to come. And at the same time, keeping the sustainable development goal, and as well as the Mother Earth, who is in endangered situation. The solar energy, renewable energy is the way of life for everybody, and we are moving in that direction. I think many organizations, institutions, R&D institutions, and even companies are moving for solar. And not only it is cheap, panels rates have come down, also it is going to be environmental benefit. Now, if you look at the sustainable 17 sustainable development goal, United Nations, and many efforts are made, and our Prime Minister, when we went to COP meeting in last year, he promised India is going to be carbon neutral in 2070. In that direction, a lot of efforts are on. All fossil fuel companies like Coal India, SPCL, ONGC, Oil India companies, they are now compulsory, they have to give a sustainability report. And probably if you go to their website, there are sustainability reports, how to, do their production, fossil fuel companies, keeping environment in mind, keeping sustainability in mind. Those are all the efforts, economy alone is not important. While achieving the economical goals, we should also keep the planet in mind. And all of you know that we already used, entire world has used 1.75 times of the natural resources, and Mother Earth is in endanger. So now it is extremely important how to keep these natural resources for many, many generations. And that is how sustainable development goals 17 have come into picture, and Japan is talking about smart society, Germany is talking about smart manufacturing, India we are talking about 17 sustainable goals and many other countries. So in that direction also a lot of work is going on, and I'm sure keeping environmental in mind, keeping sustainability and ESG in mind, I'm sure we are going to achieve the target of Viksit Bharat, that is 30 trillion economy. When it comes to exports, India, if you see some of the figures as far as export is concerned, 2030 we are expecting 1.58 trillion US dollar export by 2030 and 4.56 trillion US dollar by 2040, and 2047 we are expecting 2.67 US dollar trillion US dollar for exports. Unless until we produce and we export, probably our economical growth will not happen. So at the same time, when you grow for the economy, we should not only economic measures are not the way for any great country. Other than that, beyond economical measures, we have to look at the environmental progress, environmental sustainability. We have to look at environmental sustainability. We also need to look at the social progress, how to bridge the gap between urban and rural, and how to bring everybody at the same level, inclusive, nobody left out, how to get into inclusiveness. And the third and most important is how to get into good governance. These three measures are also going to play important role, and in that direction, I think all of you know that a lot of work is going on. With this Viksit Bharat business landscape, if you look at the globally, Japan, Europe, America, Canada, they are all aging nations. They are living in the history. India is going to create history. We are creating history, they are living in the history, and African country are the next one. They are going to take a leadership from India. A global leadership is going to from India after few decades, probably it will go to Africa. So this is the way journey, and earlier probably I think people at my age, when we were the kids, going to foreign means people used to think going to Europe and America. Today, going to abroad means coming to India and coming to Asian countries. So this is the way now history, the definitions, everything has changed, and we are creating history. It is the right time and right topic. And I thank Sika Jain, the conference organizer, and all the IMDR fraternity, the management for organizing this conference and inviting me for addressing all of you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
On behalf of everyone here, I extend my deepest gratitude for your valuable insights on India's march towards development by 2047, the significance of Skill India movement, boosting the manufacturing with the Make in India initiative in a new avatar. Sir also highlighted that India is the largest consumer of technology and has now to thrive for being the largest manufacturer of technology. He finally added his viewpoint on rural economy to take India on the next level, especially the role of MSME in developing the rural economy. Sir, thank you. We appreciate the time that you have graciously dedicated to sharing your expertise with us.